I welcome you, Dr. Madan. Dr. Madan is Director IGSTC, who is going to, speak on scope of sponsored research activities through IGST. We again thank Dr. Madan to spare his valuable time to address the faculty and students, to let them know about the various programs and funding opportunities with IGSTC. It's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Madan on my personal behalf and on behalf of the Institute. Dr. Madan has been associated with development of marine instrument and autonomous underwater technology for oceanographic research at NIO CSIR from 1991 to 2020. He has contributed in development of several marine robots, including autonomous underwater vehicle, Maya, which is remotely operated surface vehicle and autonomous vertical profiler. He played a key role in transferring this AUV and AVP technology know-how to industry and in commercialization of the same. Dr. Madan has taken over the position of Indo-German Science and Technology Center as a director from this December. His priorities are to further catalyze Indo-German science and technology partnership. He has many honors to his credit. He has served as a science counselor in Embassy of India, Berlin. He has also been instrumental in playing a major role in connecting scientists and academicians from India and Germany on several areas, including clean energy, next generation batteries, high energy physics, biotechnology, marine robotics, molecular biology, and other research and educational aspects. His contribution has been significant in connecting German institutions, including Max Planck Institutes, and with Indian counterparts like CSIR, DBT, DST, and so on. His experience with international partners include work with the Institute of System and Robotics, IST Lisbon, through Indo-Portuguese bilateral project. He is recipient of Meritorious Invention Award from NRDC, Ministry of Science and Technology, for his autonomous vertical profiler, which was given to him in year 2010. He is fellow of Institution of Engineers, India. I wouldn't take much to tell that Dr. Madhavan has been a great academician and researcher, as well as administrator in the science. So with these words, I welcome Dr. Madan again to address the faculty members and the students of IIT Delhi. Dr. Madan, please.
Yeah, so thank you very much again, Director Dr. Ram Gopal Rao and Professor Sunil Khare, faculty of IIT Delhi and students of Delhi. This is a very short presentation I have. So let me first thank you on behalf of IGSTC. It's a bilateral center. So both the Indian government, the DST, and the German government, the Ministry of Science and Education in Germany, together have funded this center. And if you can go to the second slide, it gives you a background of the center. So it basically tells you that it's a flagship initiative between both the governments, especially between DST and the BMBF, wherein we get up to 4 million euros per side annually for funding projects. That's close to 36 crores a year per side, both Indian side and the German side. And this is one of the first joint centers Germany is having with any government anywhere in the world. And it's the third in India. We have the Indo-US Center, the Indo-French Center, and the Indo-German Center is the third. You will be happy to hear that Indo-German Center is the only one with committed funding from both the governments. So the next slide. So the aim and objective of this center I've listed out. Basically, it's to enhance and facilitate joint work. So advance industrial research partnership. We want to create platforms for cross-fertilization of ideas. We want to create knowledge networks, joint knowledge pools. We want to be the nodal center to promote technology partnership between India and Germany. And of course, nurture contacts between early and mid-career researchers and technologists. So we have many programs on these lines coming up. There are two programs which I would talk about. We can go to the next slide. which talks about some of the facts and figures. So we were established somewhere in 2010 and operational since 2011. And we have a governing body which actually runs takes a lot of decisions for the center. And they are represented both by Indian and the German government. So whatever we do, it has equal representation from both the German ministry and the Indian ministry. So far, we have funded 44 projects. These are industry and academia projects, out of which 4 have been done this year, just going to be funded in March this year. And 23 are ongoing, 21 are already completed. We have industry partners, very active industry participation in our projects, which is compulsory for some of our projects. We also facilitate workshops. We have conducted 27 of them so far. And we have networked more than 160 partners across India and Germany. So at present, we support 2 programs. I'll come to details of those, but we also have other programs lined up for the future, which I'll talk about. So in the next slide, you will just see some of our priority areas. These are very broad areas, but we have many sub areas, which I'll talk about, and you can see it on the IGSTC website. So we are looking at applied research now. We're looking at technology development and partnership with industry. We're looking at basic research because that's going to be there for long. And this is going to come up as programs in the future. We're also looking at networking through workshops, fellowships, and we are looking at special program for women researchers and academicians. This is going to come up in the future. So let me come to the 2+2 projects. So this is a flagship project mode, which not many funding agencies have. So if you go to the next slide, it basically tells you what this partnership mode is. So what we do is we have one industry from India and one research or academic institute in India teaming up with one industry from Germany and one research or academic institute from Germany and apply for joint funding. And these fundings can go up to euros 450,000 on the German side and euros 400,000 in the Indian side. So these are good big projects, and these are usually for 3 years. And without the industry partners, we don't entertain these projects. So they're called 2+2. And if you go to the next slide, it just gives you some features of this partnership. See, the project proposal is expected to produce insight and expected research results leading to new technologies. So we're looking at new technologies. We're looking at technologies which can be technology transferred. So the industry is already there and has a good commercialization potential. So you would say that commercialization is the next stage. Yes, it is. So these projects actually lead to another level. So 3 years, we support the development of technology, bring it to a technology level of around TRL 5, 6, or 7. And then we can extend the project for 2 more years if the project teams are interested to take it up to a commercialization level. That is maybe TRL 9, and then you can commercialize it. So the next slide actually tells you what are the system requirements, scheme requirements. So basically you need minimum of 4 partners. It can be more, but we say it's maximum 6 so that the funds are there for each one to work with. And thematic areas, although I've mentioned energy, water, manufacturing, biotechnology, ICT, we have now widened this, and every year we will have multiple calls. So there'll be more than one area in which there will be calls. Duration is 3 years. And as I told you, it's extendable up to 2 more years, depending on how good the project is going on and if there is good scope of the product being commercialized and taking it to that area where it can be marketed or out to the market. This can be niche technologies which are very much needy for society, any variety of technologies. And I think there is the scientific committee there which discusses all this. Funding, I mentioned to you. So we have been doing a lot of these projects. If you go to the next slide, you can look at the thematic areas in the past, what we have been looking at. It's a diverse area. So biotechnology, we have talked about material sciences, advanced manufacturing, and we have also talked about new materials, smart cities, and advanced manufacturing you will see coming up many times because we involve Germany, and India and Germany are going to be great manufacturing hubs. One the country of ideas, one the country of opportunities, and now they are both countries of ideas and opportunities. So we are going to see a lot of new areas which are linked to manufacturing coming up. The latest call was on bioeconomy, and the next one is on workshops. So after projects, I think it is also important that we connect people between India and Germany. So we have an open call for Indo-German bilateral workshops. And the broad objective here is we want to create a platform for substantive interaction between scientists, researchers, and industry on one platform. Now, this is not limited to those areas which are announced in the 2+2 calls. So if you have some brilliant idea and if you have a group of researchers or academicians in India who can come together, and similarly in Germany, you can ask for funding for a workshop. So you can look at some of the scheme details in the next slide. It's basically an event which will be around 25 to 30 participants. And we fund you for the organization, logistics, catering, printing, all these things we fund you. We fund you for the international and domestic airfare. So you can either have this workshop in Germany or in India. Accommodation cost for all the participants is borne, and one official dinner is what IGSTC provides. We don't give the per diem for the daily per diem DA, we call that DA for the participants. I think what we give nearly covers most of the requirements for the participants. And there are some more details for the workshop. You can go to the next slide. So this is an open call, and the cutoff dates, we look at the proposals till Jan 31st, and then we look at all the proposals between Jan 31st to July 31st on July 31st. So the workshop either takes place in India or Germany. So it is on an area of topic of mutual interest between India and Germany. It has to be. And or if you suddenly find these topics are not coming under the DST or the German Research Ministry, it's a topic of high importance and there are many people who want to meet on this. Yes, we can consider this. And basically, we're looking at proposals which will come after meeting during these workshops. We look forward for those proposals which we can fund later on. Training workshops and meetings between two institutions do not fall within the scope of this call. So it's basically a multi-institutional workshop where you have many people participating. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. So if you look at this, we've had so many successful workshops. We will not be funding any travel from outside Indian or German participants. They might be a participant from India, outside India and Germany, but we do not fund them. And the participation needs to involve industry. You need to get industry in, for participation here, and also multiple institutions. And that's how the choosing for the workshop, evaluation for the workshop will be done, which is actually listed out in the next slide. The next slide, please. Yeah, so if you see, you have to fall within the purview of DST and BMBF guidelines and thematic areas. And it has to be something novel, a new idea, a new discussion theme where you want to network. And of course, you have to have present pan-India, pan-Germany. And a number of participants from industry will really be considered for evaluating the worth of the workshop. So let me now talk about what are the upcoming calls. So these are two broad areas, the 2+2 calls and the workshops. Now what's upcoming? So I think this is more interest to you. So the next slide talks about upcoming calls and programs. So let me go to the next slide. So currently we have a call for 2+2. This is already launched some time ago. Many of you must have already seen this call and started interacting and forming teams. We have a very good response for this call. So the thematic area is additive manufacturing. We have 5 subtopics under this, one under new material for additive manufacturing, one on printed and wearable electronics, one on additive manufacturing in large size, in situ process monitoring and control, and biomedical devices and implants. Now the deadline for this is 25th February. And we also, what we have done is, because due to the COVID, we are not able to have a workshop to get people physically. So what we did is, if you go to the next slide, we started something on the virtual matchmaking tool. So this tool actually is a very useful tool. We found it very useful, where people could find partners, could interact with industry, could interact with other academia. So for this details on this, you could link on to the website, which is mentioned down. It's on the IGSTC website. So here you can actually exchange ideas or book video meetings with 1:1 participant and see if that person is of interest, and then together put up a proposal. And you might be knowing a lot of people in your own area, but there might be better people in that area working in other institutions, other industries. And if you want to get to them, I think this is a very good tool. So the next slide actually tells you which tool we use. It's the B2Match. And there's an online registration process which you do. And it has a lot of variety where you can meet very good virtual partners. And I think it has worked well. And that's the reason we are having quite a lot of calls, and we think we are going to get a lot of proposals. Well, in this, if you have any doubt, please do mail Saqib Sheikh, the email of whom I've given down immediately, because the call is still open. And if you want to log in and online register here, please do. And this is going to be something we are going to use for all future calls also. So we'd like to use this online call virtual matchmaking tool. Of course, we will also be having workshops in future to try and connect people before applying for these projects. So if you can go to the next slide. So we have other programs. Now we have a very strong program between India and Germany. That's the Indo-German Frontiers of Engineering Symposia, which is actually organized between Alexander von Humboldt and DST. Now we don't play a major role there, IGSTC, but what we do is, as a follow-up, there are many Indians who want to go to Germany and many Germans who want to come to India in the research and academic area. So those who have participated here, if they require travel and assistance funds, we do provide them. So we have funded a lot of people under this scheme. So you are free to come to us. If you have attended the info symposia, please come to us and we will be happy to look at your proposal to fund you to travel to Germany and to many recognized labs. Now, one thing I would like to, I think most of you must be having an idea about the research landscape in Germany. So like the IITs in India, they have a TU9, Technical University 9. They are the top 9 technical institutes in Germany. And there are also excellence initiative universities. There are around 11 of them, which the German government funds for innovative research also. So there are 11 universities plus TU9. And then you have the very strong research network, that is the Max Planck, Fraunhofer, Leibniz, and Helmholtz, all together having more than around 300 institutions. So there is a lot of scope for you to connect. And that's the reason we have these programs with you. Now we are going to launch 2 more programs, and this might be of good interest to you. It's called the Indo-German Industrial and Academia R&D Network. So these are basically exchange programs where you, along with an industry partner, identify an industry partner. It need not be many industry partners here. It could be just one. And then you travel. We give you travel grants to visit those labs or industries in Germany. So you're basically creating a bilateral exchange program. So we call this Indo-German Industrial and Academic R&D Network. So this is going to be launched soon. We are expecting the clearances in March, and you can look at the website maybe in 3 months' time. You will be seeing this new program. We also have something called as the IGSTC Fellowships. So this is mainly for PhD and postdoctoral fellows who want to go from India and spend some time in an industry in Germany. So we are going to fund them to the tune of maybe even 3 months to 6 months stay in Germany. And this is a good amount. This scheme is soon going to be launched. We're waiting for the final approvals in March, and this should take off anywhere in the first half of 2021. So both these are coming up. Now, in addition to this, let me also just tell you that we're coming up with 2 more programs. One should be on the encouragement for women in science, and that we're going to release a program on that soon. And other one is on transformative research. It will be on innovative ideas in basic research. So these 2 programs will be coming up, and these are with large funding. So that's coming up soon. So basically, we have 2 projects already ongoing, and there are 3 here, which you see in other programs, and we are going to come up with another 2 or 3. So we will have close to 10 programs by the end of this year, and maybe I can give you a brief later on in the year about all the 10 programs. So just to give you a brief on what, if you can go to the next slide. So far, what have we got from IGSTC? Well, the projects worked very well. And out of the 21 completed projects, I think if you see the outputs, it's quite good. There are 5 patents granted, 4 filed. These are jointly with India and Germany. And one of them, one of the technologies commercialized. 1 startup has been incorporated. And there are 7 technologies which are developed and in the verge of commercialization. 11 more under development, and quite a lot of publications. And capacity building within institutes is 131. But if you see the network of scientists, academicians, and industry, it's been a large number. We are connected close to 2,700 people over the period of last 10 years. Well, there have been other benefits. There have been a lot of PhD and master's thesis outcome from here. And we have also been able to connect very premier institutes between India and Germany. So that is all from me. Thank you very much. I hope this was useful. So maybe we can have some questions and discuss.
Thank you, Professor Madan. Actually, it was very eye-opener kind for understanding the various gamuts of this program, which is benefiting both the countries in many ways. I also was very excited to see launch of 2 new programs in coming months, which will further add to this. We are really thankful to you for this, and I hope the faculty members and students must have been benefited a lot. Now I open it for interaction for the faculty members and the students. They can actually interact. So any questions to Dr. Madan? You have to unmute them. Ramlakhan, you have to unmute them. If there is a... Okay, I see one hand. So I see Mr. Pramod Khardikar. Actually, Mr. Pramod, you can ask the question to Dr. Madan.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the presentation. I am Pramod from Department of Design from IIT Delhi. My question is I work on behavioral design, designing technologies that will bring in sustainable behaviors in the society. So here we'll not the aim is not directly a technology which something might come out of that, but it is about understanding human behaviors and then devising ways in which we can stop unsustainable behaviors. So such kind of projects are also funded generally through this kind of, or it's very technology focused?
Okay, very, very good. I was talking about new programs, Pramod, and we are thinking of 2 new programs in the areas of basic research, and one in the area of basic research and one in the area of large scale processes and modeling. Okay. Now, what you say can actually fit into that, because many people who are looking at design are also looking at modeling of large scale events. They're looking at complex processes, even processes of the human body, which are happening within the human body. So what you are looking at is from the design, from the engineering point of view, which can fit into that sort of a program. And we are coming up with that in the future. So that might not be within the next 3 to 4 months, but later on, at a later stage. But there is one thing. If you feel there is a lot of people working in this area, and if you feel there is something innovative from the design point of view which you can give, then it also makes it worth to have a good workshop between similar minds in India and Germany on this. So this is one way to force us to fund you. So if we find that this active participation is there in this area, we will not think twice before funding you on a project on this. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Any other question? Any other student or faculty member, please? I have a question, Dr. Madhan, actually.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, what are the, like you outlined the broad areas, the technology and basic sciences and all. Are there some specific sub areas which are in focus these days from German and Indian side?
Well, there are two things we look at. We look at the latest programs of the Ministry of Science and Technology in India. We look at what are the BMBF initiatives. And then in the governing body, the co-chairs from India and Germany decide on the topic. But then from our side, from Indo-German Science and Technology side, we list out around 17 areas, which actually the areas what you saw, what I showed was very broad. We have got into depth, and they are going into really much depth in the areas of engineering, design, processes, large-scale events. It's covering a large ambit of STEM, I would say. So it is not the broad areas, but we have gone into. But those areas I might not be able to tell you directly now. But of course, yes, there are many more areas which I could maybe send you a mail across with the full details of what we are thinking of.
So I was particularly excited because this is an open call for which 25th February is the last deadline for submission.
Yes.
And I have, because we have the office of R&D here, I have forwarded many proposals myself to your for your consideration, and I'm sure some of them will meet the success also.
Sure.
Maybe if it is not confidential, the review process is through the committee, empowered committee of the experts, right?
Yes. So what we have a scientific committee which reviews the proposals, and the scientific committee has members from India as well from Germany, equal participation. So they will look at the proposals. They will basically look at your strength of the industry partner. They will look at the strength of the academia or the R&D organization in India, which I'm sure IIT Delhi is one. And they will look at all these aspects and the outcome of the project, how feasible it is for a 2+2 project. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say once the project is actually sanctioned, do you monitor periodically, or it's after yearly? There is yearly evaluation.
So far, there was a yearly evaluation, but what I propose to do is at least every 6 months, a team would visit IIT Delhi if you get a project and have a look at it. We will not disturb you with too many formats and proposals, but we would physically come to have a view and see if you are having any hurdles. It's not basically to review the project, but to see if you are having any hurdles, any problems which we could sort out. And at the year end, you have a presentation to make to the committee, which is online most of the time. Yeah.
Dr. Madan, this question is little, even if you don't answer, I won't mind. I think the question is what kills an application and what makes it successful? I mean, that's kind of because many faculties may be interested to know where they make mistake or where they score.
Can I have your question again, Professor?
I was just thinking, if possible, you are not necessarily that you answer it. It may be confidential also. But in general views, I am asking what makes an application successful or what actually kills one application broadly?
Well, yeah, okay. I think, when you say application.
Sorry, project proposal, I'm sorry.
Yes, yeah, no problem. When I say when the application or the proposal, I think there are 2 or 3 factors you look at. One is, today you're looking at a needy technology, a societal technology which makes some societal impact. So I'd like to give you one project which was on a hearing aid, and that was basically for rehabilitation. And I think that had very good societal impact. So I think the impact of the output carries a lot of weightage when you talk about application. So it's not just a product which is not marketed. but if it can be a niche product which has a very small market also. So I'm not talking about a very big commercial market, but some niche product which is innovative and has a market.
Thank
But
you,
again,
Dr. Madan. And I think that you already gave what impressed me most, and maybe our faculty will benefit out of it, that you gave us the link to connect the German, experts in the area. That was very, very good to know. And also you provided us email of the person whom they can clarify. These two things certainly will help them to, enable a good proposal. Thank you, and I am done. If any other question, my faculty colleagues or students, it's high time you can ask. Otherwise, you will come to me with questions. Opportunity for you to directly listen from. Yeah, it's a good opportunity for my faculty colleagues to listen from the director directly. So, if anything like that, you can raise your hands actually, because we have muted you. Then we will unmute you immediately. So any faculty colleague, if you want some clarification or question or some interest, may raise the hand actually, and we will unmute. So looks like I don't see. So I think it's time for us to say thanks again. I request Dr. Amlesh Mukhopadhyay, our R&D coordinator. Sir, we have with us two more coordinators, one Dr. Archana Trivedi and Dr. Harshita Bhatnagar, and I am Sunil Khare. I look after as a position of Dean here. And Dr. Amlesh is our very active colleague and R&D coordinator. So he was, thank you for responding to him. He initiated that we must get you on board, and you
thank you.
So I request now Dr. Amlesh to propose vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm Amlesh Mukhopadhyay. Yes, it is really a interesting lecture from your side to understand the various activities at the moment IGST is doing and IGST is proposing for next couple of months as an upcoming schemes or programs, which will be very, very interesting, very, very informative for us at the IIT Delhi. I thank you, Dr. Madan, to accept our invitation and sparing his time and told us about the IGSTC activity. I hope that this information, this lecture will be helpful to all faculty members. Thank you very much, Dr. Madan. I also thanks all the participants who has spared their time and must have been benefited out of this lecture in the last 1 hour. I thank all my colleagues and Dean Professor Khare to steer the whole program. Thank you very much. We will come back to you in case any queries, in case any requirements comes up from our faculty member on these programs, which is now in the process, ending on 25th February or so. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Madan, we would like to invite you in person once the situation improves, and it will be great for IIT to have you with us in person.
Definitely, I look forward. There's one thing I learned from this presentation today, that with Cisco WebEx and Mac, you need to make sure that you can present. I think I need to sort out this technical. So this is something I learned today.
In fact, we also have learned that part. Learning is a lifelong process, everyday process. Thank you very much.
Thank you.